right, there's a zillion ways to do a dumbbell / kettlebell swing, so many thoughts and feelings on it. This is my easy way to teach you how to do this. So if you have a dumbbell or if you have a water jug, you can do a swing. I've even done it with like suitcases, small children, it can happen. The basic rules are you have to have a functional hinge. So you have to know how to deadlift without looking like you're a dog taking a poop or looking like you're trying to stick your butt all the way back behind you. What that means is if you take one hand, place it on your butt, and then another hand and place it as low as you can to the ground, what you should feel is that your knees are slightly bent and your hips are going as far back behind you as they can, like you're trying to close a door with your butt, right? My knees are still bent here. As I rise, I'm actively pushing through the ground to come up to the top of the movement pattern. When I get here, I squeeze a penny in between my butt cheeks and I push my quads straight. That is a full deadlift with one arm. Another way to describe this position that often works for some people is to look like you're about to hike a football, so kind of like pulling it back behind you. This analogy is going to be really relevant for talking about the dumbbell swing because the movement pattern is going to involve pulling the dumbbell so far back behind you that we often say you really want to think about keeping it close to your bits. It's not going to hurt you, but it should be very, very close, okay? So the other big rule is that when we are returning the swing to between our legs, we don't want to return the swing to any lower than basically right here. We want to keep the hinge as high and as tight as possible, as opposed to feeling like we need to bring the swing all the way back down here. That does break the rule that I just talked to you about, which is we need to keep the dumbbell close to our bits. So the movement pattern is going to be in that hinged position, keeping your spine long. You're going to tuck the bell right back between your legs so that it is bumping you in the butt. And you can do that a few times to practice the motion and to feel your arm actively pulling toward your crotch. And then from this position, you're going to pop the hip to let the dumbbell rise. And I usually like for people to get a sense of doing that a few times before we start to link the reps together. If for some reason you didn't have a dumbbell that gave you enough room between your legs, you can always turn it the other way. So like this is also totally fine. After you have greased that groove for a little bit, I would try the other side before linking your reps. So same idea, learning how to keep that dumbbell very close, pulling it all the way back, and then practicing getting through the swing pattern, really squeezing your butt and your quads at the top of each rep. And then when that starts to feel pretty natural, you can begin to link. And the other thing you're seeing with the link is that I'm using this opposite hand, my left hand, to help me get that swing forward. And I will do it on my opposing side as well. And this is a really super useful pattern for a lot of people who are traveling, don't have a lot of time, want to make sure you're able to train something that gets you going into a good hinge pattern, but also allows you to get some good breathing done while you're training.